Slouser here, and today I'll be doing a deck profile on my diamond rank Plunder Patrols. I tried to do this a while back, but then I stopped playing the game for a while. Now I've returned and I did it, so I'm happy. Some people consider this a tier 2 deck. I would say tier 3, but after deck profile I'll explain why. And after this deck profile I'll show some replays so you can see how this deck performs. So let's get on with it. Pretty standard stuff. 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, staples, best hand traps right now in the game. I played the adventure package. It just works so well in this deck. There's 3 things you can use them for. 1, you can just get an Omni Negate, which is amazing. 2, you can pitch either Enchantress or Draco back with your shipyard and you get a search, and they still have effects that work in grave, so it's just a plus twice. And thirdly, let's say they negate your search or you're not able to get your griffin onto the field, you can always use the token with golden hair or white beard, and then boom, you get your yord. Many options you can do with the adventure package, so I would 100% recommend in this deck. Now the standard stuff: 3 Whitebeard, 2 Redbeard. You don't need 3. Really, you want this card on the field. Special summoned by Whitebeard. I hate to see it in hand, honestly, but you can't play 1. You need 2 because in case something does happen. 3 Bluebeard. Honestly, if you open this with either golden hair or Whitebeard, it's the best start. You literally get full combo. You want to see this card in your opening hand. And then 3 golden hair and 2 black eyes. Oh, this card is amazing. It used to be 3, but I needed to make space for some spells since Thrust came out, so I had to bring it down to 2. But plus, you don't really want to open with this hand, similar to Redbeard. This is more of a card you want to search, but if you do open, at least you can still do things. And then of course Griffin, because, well, it's an adventure package. Now for the spells. These are all together, so I'm just going to explain them all in one go. And well, again, adventure package, don't need to explain. So these are the 5 spells I have with my Thrust. Originally I used to have 4. I didn't used to have Dark Ruler, but then there was a time I needed it because I couldn't destroy the monsters on field with Raigeki, so I needed to negate because they had negations. So then I switched out a talent for Dark Ruler, but then there was a time which, this is why Thrust works perfect in this deck. When you have your perfect start, it usually has with lists and the token on your opponent's side. If your opponent does a Maxi or an Ash and you're able to negate it or stop it, Thrust becomes viable. You can use it and add it to your hand, the card, because of the token on their side. I love it. So there was a time when I did that, but I couldn't add tactics because I took it out. But I could have easily taken it and then seen their hand and removed 1. So I was like, nah, I need to bring it back. And so I did. That's when I removed 1 of the infinite impermanences. So that's why I only got 2 now. Usual and shipyard, definitely need a 3. It's your searcher, gives you attack. It's just such a good card. And cooled buys, because even though this deck can play through multiple disruptions, I remember seeing some comments saying that they can't. I'm like, whoa bro, this deck can at least go through 2 or 3 if you have a good hand. Even maybe even 4, honestly. This deck can go through many disruptions as long as you have the right cards. So cooled buy does help, because you don't want to get hit by a Maxi though. It does special summon quite a bit to infinite impermanence. So now for the extra deck, I don't know how to say, is it lists or lice? Lists? I'm just saying lists, 2 of this, because just in case 1 gets destroyed, it's your best ship. So yeah, you have to have 2. 1 Aura Whale because it's a free lightning storm. As long as they're in attack mode, boom, wipe them out. 2 Bran. Technically you could have this at 1, but I always keep a spare just in case. 1 Dragite. This card, I love it. Honestly, it saved me so many games and won me games. Yord. You only need 1 since it goes back 2 extra decks, so I don't see why you need 2. If they use like a Kashtira and get rid of it, then yeah, it could be a bit of a problem, but still I think just 1's enough. Baguska, pretty much for Zeus, or slow down your opponent and then go into Zeus. 2 Morek, I think it is. Again, I'm probably butchering it, but oh well. Similar to Bran, you could technically get away with 1, but I always do 2 just to be safe. 1 Almirage, just in case you open up with golden hair and no other plunder, so at least this can get you into Blackbeard. 3 Blackbeard, because he's your best non-ship card in your extra deck. I'm going to quickly explain why I think this is a tier 3 deck and what's the pros and cons. So the pros is, as I said, it can go through multiple disruptions as long as you have the right cards. The other thing I said is, yeah, Thrust can be active on your turn. Like, you can actually add these cards to your hand. I'm telling you, adding talents to your hand on turn 1 when your opponent tries to Ash or Maxi you, oh, I love that feeling, man. And what I love about this deck the most is once it starts rolling, it's like a big snowball. Like, it starts off as a small snowball and it's just going down a hill. You start to plus like crazy. You can end on a field with Monster Negate, Banish, destroying a spell or trap, and obviously Blackbeard, you draw 1 every time you use his effect. Yeah, you plus like crazy, and it's so hard. Once the plunders start getting in their mojo, oof, it's hard to stop them. Another thing I would say is I take this deck more as a control deck. I never try to really OTK with this deck. I like to set up and then just slowly pick out my opponent so they run out of resources and boom, I can just kill them. But this deck can OTK, especially if you bring out Bran and another ship with Shipyard. Oh, you can get some serious attack. Biggest negative on this deck, which to me makes it a tier 2, it's only one really big one, but it's a big one. There is no one card combos in this deck, sadly. It's all at least 1.5, and if it's a 1.5, they might just end up with a Blackbeard, and sometimes that's nowhere near enough, because if your opponent doesn't have a light or a dark monster or any of these attributes and they're playing wind or something, you're kind of screwed. You know, you can't do much. Or if they negate you with imperm, you're done. They need at least 2 plunders, and if you want to get your really strong combo, you need at least a golden hair or a white beard. But of course, if you get Shipyard, you can search one of them. That's why I just feel when you need at least a 1.5, that's what separates it. A lot of these decks that are tier 2 and tier 1, all you need is one card and boom, you set off. Versus just need Raisin. Kashtira technically just get one of their Kashtira monsters, and then that can search another Kashtira monster or a spell, and then so on. Math Mech just need I forgot his name, but you know the boss, the main level 4, just broken. Pearly need just one card and that can set it off. You know, these decks only need one card and they can do the whole combo, while this deck needs 1.5. I would say another thing is, even though it can plus like crazy, it's quite balanced, honestly, because the thing about this deck is all of these effects, you need a plunder in your hand. So if you don't have a plunder, you can't even use their effect, or they need to at least be equipped with a plunder. Except Liss, it's like they do have pros, but they do have cons to their effects. And Blackbeard, you can Ash and then he can't use his effects, you know, so it does have negatives. So I'd say it's balanced. Like, even though when their effects go through, they're pretty busted, but they can be stopped quite easily. And sometimes they get stopped by your own fault, you know, you don't have the right cards in your hand, or you just don't get the right luck. You're hoping to draw into a plunder and boom, you don't, and then you can't even use their effects. That's why I do believe this is a tier 3 deck, but it's a solid tier 3. Honestly, this deck is fun, it's extremely fun, and I would recommend it to anyone if you like the theme of Vikings or pirates. Art is actually pretty funny, I like it a lot. It does play a lot of going second cards, so that does help when you're playing a game like Master Duel. And it's not an easy deck, so it's not hard, but it's not easy, so you can start learning a lot of things playing this deck in terms of combos and when to do certain plays. I would still say it's a friendly deck, but it will help you improve as a player. But yeah, that is the deck profile. After this, it's gonna go on to the replays, so I hope you enjoy them. But before that, if you did like this deck profile, I would appreciate it if you left a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to be updated with all my content and to be updated when I live stream. Now let the replays begin.
Over the misty mountains go, through dungeons deep and caverns old. My mother told me someday I will buy Gabii with good oars, sail to distant shores.